Okay, so let's talk about protein in a vegan diet with
me.
Let's get into it. So, why do we need protein and what is it good for, Mol?
Good question. Well, protein is one of, it makes up almost 20% of the whole human body. So if you think about water, that's up there. Protein's really essential for, obviously it's very well known as growth and repair when you're growing up. So any kind, especially an athlete, if you're breaking down muscle tissues all the time, you need to repair that as fast as you can for recovery. Even like little, I've got a burn on my hand, stuff like that, repairing the skin cells.
So is it good for aging?
Yeah, aging as well. So and really good for if you're someone who is perhaps looking to reduce the calorie consumption in your diet. Very, very it's very high satiety food, so it actually takes out of all the macronutrients, it's the one that actually burns most calories, actually burning down the protein, if that makes sense. So very high satiety, and you feel a lot more fuller after you've ate.
So fuller for longer by having protein. Yeah. I have a question. This is like the biggest one that you get when you're a vegan or on a plant-based diet. Is it possible to not have enough protein when on a plant-based diet?
It is possible, yeah. I think even for us sometimes we're very clued into how much is in things. We don't track, we don't record. However, sometimes, like very occasionally recently, I've just tracked to see how we're getting on, because obviously I don't want for us to become deficient in protein. So it's not very common because it's actually one of the it's a fact that, especially in America, one of the most it's very hard to be deficient in protein in general, but on a vegan diet can be more difficult if you are, say, eating
the wrong things,
fast foods all the time, and you're just eating chips, and you're just having like fluids, and you're just kind of having a few soy products every now and then. You're sticking to mainly oats are a good source of protein. However, to get a really high amount, you'd have to have a lot.
Okay, so cool.
It's very, can be done. You've got to plan it out well. You need a good knowledge, and that's why we are hoping to educate you best we can.
Cool. So how much protein do you actually need per day? Like, this is obviously going to be different because everybody's got different cells, they've got different kind of energy levels, they may burn calories quicker or whatever. What's like the basis that you need?
They say an average is about 0.8 per kilogram of body weight. So
what's that work out? Can you give me an example?
Say your how's maths? If you're actually interested a little bit more, we have done a blog on our website, which is literally a summary of what we're talking about now, and it actually gives you a nutritional, like a meal plan for the day. And it breaks down what's in the daily. I think it's about 92 grams of protein for a 55 kilogram athlete. Okay. So a female, say they weigh 55 kilograms, 0.8 grams of that per kilogram. It's around about, I think it worked out to be about 44 grams.
So that's all you need in a day? Okay.
No. Let me think.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Get me back to that. I know the actual the guideline is about the guideline's about 44 grams.
Okay, cool.
But this athlete, which I put a menu sample for, it comes down to about 92 grams. And I'm not
that's
even...
on a vegan diet?
Yeah, and I'm not even... the example I've gave, every meal has a little bit of protein in, but I haven't made it the key factor, do you know what I mean? So, and that was for quite it was about four meals I think in the day, so 3 main meals, 1 snack. So it just shows if you're doing it carefully, you can get the right amount, but also vice versa.
So it's not exactly a myth, but it's not exactly the truth about having
exactly
protein.
So that's the thing, it's very modest. A little bit dusty, bit of fair. It is very modest, 0.8 grams per kilogram. That's almost, to some people, like for a female, 45 to 60 grams in between that area. Obviously it varies highly.
Okay,
on
and
your
that's
weight.
achievable then? That's not like you have to eat like soy tofu every single meal?
that's the thing. We
Yeah.
want to make it fun for you guys, so you're not having to just eat lentils every day. And
Lentils are great. Yeah.
Very versatile. But yeah, very modest, I think, saying, so it's very hard to become deficient in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Basically.
Nailed it. Right. So, can you tell me some facts on protein? I'm putting her to the test today.
I haven't even like looked at any notes really on this, so this is coming straight from the head.
Go on, Mol.
Facts. Okay,
Yeah.
some
How
boring
many calories?
ones.
Go. Calories in protein.
Okay, we've got 4 calories per gram of protein.
Cool.
So, for example, if you have 20 grams of protein in something, that's going to be 80 calories. So you just times it by the 4, if that makes sense.
Got it. Cool. Give me another one. Let's go.
On
the spot.
There are 20 branched chain amino acids in protein.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? So there's different amino acids that make up proteins in the body.
A full protein.
Basically, not like, because that's another thing. There's myths on this. I'm not completely sure on this one, so don't take my advice on this. But there have been certain people saying that that's a myth. Whether on plant-based diet you need complete proteins, because meat, for example, you get all of the branched chain amino acids, I think, in certain foods. Any fish and meat, if you're having it regularly, you'll get them all. But on a vegan one, sometimes they say you need to eat certain things, like say, what was that?
Sorry, it's all good.
Phone fell off the thing. And again. So it calms
Sorry,
me out.
go on, I'll put you off. Go.
It put me off. I don't know what I'm talking about now.
You got this.
Yeah, branched chain amino acids. But so they say you have to have, like, say, rice and beans together to make a complete protein in order for the protein synthesis to occur in the body. However, I'm just going to stick to more of not that high end approach, just sticking to what, I'm not going to complicate things too much, but basically you've got 20 branched chain amino acids, and 9 of them are essential, which means your body can't make them. So if any of you have heard of leucine before, that is one that people say you basically need leucine to in order for protein synthesis to occur, most effectively anyway. And that can be found in plant-based proteins. And again, it's all about varying the diet. You can be very strict and say this is what you have, this is what you have, but again, we're about educating you guys and want for you to be able to go off on your own, obviously, and have that approach. So
for females around 55 kilogram, which is probably us, you said it's how many grams of protein you need per day? About 40-ish.
You got 44.
44,
I think. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how could you give them an example of how you could fit that in within a day, like on a plant-based diet?
Again, I can't try to remember what I put on that blog. It doesn't matter if I go off topic anyway. But for example, say you're having oats in the morning. You have it with some mixed berries. You have a bit of flaxseed, some plant milk to obviously mix the oats in with. Then for lunch, say you have...
What are we talking, what is that roughly, would you say, about?
Come on. Asking for much. Jeez.
The people want to know.
Right, okay, so I would guess about 10 grams. Okay?
10 grams.
That's
in
without
your
any
breakfast.
protein. That's without any protein powder. So you've got oats, about 4 grams, I would say, 4.4 grams.
Yeah.
You've got flaxseed, again, you could add a little bit of flaxseed in there, gives you a couple more grams. Plant milks, again, haven't got massive high protein content, but once you add it through a day, I know we go through quite a lot of plant milk throughout the day, so that adds up. So probably even only maybe a gram or 2 in there. Some berries, maybe a gram in there. So you see, probably close to about 10 grams.
Okay, cool.
Then lunchtime, let's say we're gonna go for a nice salad. So a nice green kale spinach salad with lentils. Again, lentils really good for about, let me have a think of this, about 100 grams. You've probably got about 6 to 8 grams. This is me on the spot, you know. I'm quite good at my food intake.
Pressure.
It has been
You
a
got
while.
this.
About 6 to 8 grams maybe, but per 100 cooked, that's a lot more. So again,
so cooked is different to...
Yeah,
okay.
Remember that if you're working on a dry and a cooked weight, it's always different. because obviously if you're cooking 50 grams of uncooked lentils, it's going to be a lot less when it's cooked because they're absorbing water. So just make sure, usually I think on packets it's the dry weight that they account for.
So we've had 2 meals, that's equating to about 20 kilograms, and that's not even
20 kilograms
to 20 about 20 grams of protein.
So say you're having green leafy veg as well.
Yeah,
you don't realize this, but I know people say, well, you've got to have about 1,000 grams of like broccoli to get a certain amount, but when you're adding all these little things up, they do add up. So yeah, so you have a nice broccoli, spinach, lentils, maybe some carrots. I'd say about a good 15 to 20 grams protein there. Maybe add a few pumpkin seeds as well on top. Then dinner, what will you have for dinner? What do you fancy for dinner?
Oh my god, I don't know.
Maybe some tempeh?
Yes,
Tempeh is good. Some marinated tempeh. Tempeh is really very good for protein, by the way. And if you've ever had seitan before, very good. Although just be aware that it's got gluten in, so just be aware of that one if you're intolerant to it. But yeah, tempeh is really nice as well if you cook it right. So it's basically you use some kind of legume, so like a pea or a bean kind of thing, and you ferment it. But that's really good in protein. You probably get about, let me think, probably about 18 grams per 200 grams of weight of
200, really?
Yeah, I think so. So around about 18, 16. I'm gonna be like looking at the book after later on, looking at the.
I'm really putting you on the spot. Sorry about this.
I wasn't prepared about this. Anyway, and then having it again with, even if it's just some rice, some
brown rice.
Let's go for, but obviously whole grain's always a good option to have. And even rice, that's I would say about 6 grams of protein per serving, 4 to 6 grams per serving. And then what we're gonna have it with?
Oh my gosh, this is a lot.
I'm giving you basically food diary.
Yeah.
Tempeh. We've got
broccoli.
Broccoli. Well, if you haven't had that at lunch, because again you want to vary it best you can. But if you've had more like mixed leaves and kale, that kind of thing, maybe for lunch you'll have dinner you'll have it with broccoli. Broccoli's really good source of protein as well.
How much? Come on, she's the broccoli queen. How much protein is in 100 grams? Come on, Mom.
Do I know this?
Yes, you do. She loves protein. No, she loves broccoli.
It's about. It's not loads, but when broccoli's quite heavy in weight, so.
Go on, wild guess. Let's go. We're gonna Google all this afterwards.
It's about. Why am I thinking like 4.5 grams or something?
Okay, Google it. Let's find out.
Less than that, really.
So that's like manageable.
So and then that's another, like, say that's about 20 to 30 grams. And then for snacks, I would say maybe having a protein shake on its own. Okay.
Do you recommend that vegans invest in proteins, or if you're changing to a plant-based diet, do you recommend that they invest in a protein shake? And if so, which one?
Yeah, I think so, because we're all about food first approach, no matter the circumstance, even on loads of other vitamins and minerals. However, like, your life is very busy nowadays. Obviously you need to learn to slow that down, but in another world sometimes it is difficult. So especially if you're an athlete and you're going from you've just trained, you're going to the changing room, you're going to not be home for another couple of hours, you're not going to have time to eat. Or even if you're 9 to 5 working, you're answering phone calls all the time, it's good, it's very convenient. So you have a shaker, just a scoop of protein in, water, you can have half water, half milk, or milk, half water, whatever you prefer. And you're giving yourself there about 20 to 30 grams of protein already.
So that's why
it's just really convenient. I'm not saying to have it every day. You don't need it every day. Okay. I know we don't have it every day. Quite a lot, but not all the time.
This isn't a sponsored video, but if you were to actually recommend a protein, what would you recommend and why?
Of course it's going to be Viva Life, come on.
Love you guys.
Amazing brand, amazing vision, ethos, everything about it. It's all about sustainability as well, which is massive for us as well.
It's clean, isn't it?
There's
no fillers or anything.
That's the thing with a lot of protein powders, just puts me off, because there's ingredients that you've not even heard of and you're like, what is this? Whereas in there they've got there is quite a lot of ingredients in them. It depends which one you do. They have different types. They have like a ritual one, which is just plant-based protein, or they have a one which is called Perform, which is a lot of athletes use it because it has components like turmeric. It's got obviously the plant proteins itself. It's got cinnamon in it. Turmeric's are very good for anti-inflammatory, which I'm sure a lot of you are aware of already. So again, it's going to help aid that recovery. So it's not. That's why we love their brand, because they don't just focus on, oh, here's a protein powder
and it tastes good.
It still tastes good. Yeah, it's backed by the science as well. So a lot of their products will pair stuff with one another because it aids in absorption, for example. So I know it's going off protein, but their vitamin D, for example, has vitamin K in it because it helps that absorption. Little things like that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas some brands will just say, oh, here's vitamin D. They don't bother about that little stuff, but the little stuff sometimes matters.
Absolutely. So if you are an athlete, or if you are thinking about switching to a plant-based diet, what we're going to do is just below here, we're going to leave a link and a discount code that you can use to get yourself some Vivo Life protein, or if you're interested in supplements as well.
Yeah, and get 10% off, I think, your first order as well.
Yeah.
And it'll help us out as well.
Yes, yeah. So thank you if you do decide to go ahead and use the link. Again, this isn't sponsored. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we need to cover. I think we've pretty much done it. So,
yeah, I think so.
So you can get enough protein in on a plant-based diet. That's the basic ground.
Pretty much. And you've just... One thing I will mention, actually, I know a lot of some, especially athletes as well, with their guts, runners specifically, might even complain about gut issues because you're getting a lot more fibre in a plant-based diet. They're harder to break, sometimes harder to break down because they're harder in texture compared to like fats, which are more like liquid, obviously. So in the body. So I would say with that, just be mindful if you are transitioning from a non-plant-based diet to a plant-based diet, do it in small bits if you're not sure how it's going to affect your body. Like say one day a week completely vegan, plant-based, or if you think, oh no, I can do more than that, have one day complete or a couple of days complete. And just think about certain meals as well, making sure that they're completely plant-based. And obviously we're always here to help as well.
Molly is a master in nutrition. So if you are an athlete, if you are a person that's interested in switching across to being vegan or even plant-based, if you're curious, please feel free to get in touch, drop us a little message. We're on Instagram at rise2.health, and you can head over to our website, www.rise2.health.
Same one. Makes it easier, doesn't it?
I think that's everything. We covered it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Drink plenty of water as well. If you're upping your protein, you need that extra water.
Cool. We'll leave you on that one. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Can you guys see a seed in my tooth?
Yeah. Little seed.